All right, I am not a political person by any means. I don't like anybody that's in politics, to be perfectly honest with you. I have had no success whatsoever with anyone in politics. Now, they tell me to get a hold of Trump. I never did try to get a hold of Trump. But I'm going to tell you what, none of these people will respond to what could save our country and could save us hundreds of billions of dollars a year, because what they're doing is walking around in circles talking about you have to be peer reviewed to be able to publicize stuff, and then it takes years and years and years before you'll be accepted. I have all the evidence right now to be accepted today. So what am I complaining about today? Well, I'm complaining about Fermilab. They say this is the particle they're looking for, which is a fixed particle, found it. Point particle, found it. Photon, found it. Muon, neutrino, found it. Electron, neutrino, found it. Separated them, fission, fusion, found it. Free energy, found it. Refused by Don Lincoln at Fermilab. A government agency will not respond, told me to get lost. They will never respond to me, any of him or his staff. I'm fed up with our government, and the only one that may be able to do anything is Trump. Like I said, I'm not a political guy, but if he can get something done, God bless him. And with this, we should be able to get free energy. Within 30 days, we wouldn't know one way or the other. That's all. I just want 30 days. Some engineers, some equipment. This stuff is off the shelf already. Nothing has to be developed. We just have to manufacture and put it into a package and create that energy. 200 times increase energy if we can do what we did, and we can, and we have. And nobody in our government will respond. The world is going in the toilet, and this is a possible solution. In 30 days, we know one way or the other. They're talking about 10 years they should be able to refit, and then another 20 years, maybe they'll find something. Another 50 years, they'll still be walking in that same circle. So once again, you don't want to be paying billions of dollars to these people for walking around in circles. Get a hold of Trump. Get a hold of somebody who can do something. Nobody will respond to me. I've been put on spam lists. Fermilab's got me blocked. Everybody's got me blocked because I come with truth. They want to stay on top and take all the money, your money, my money. They want you paying $10 a gallon for gas and not being able to feed your kids. That's the government we have right now. It stinks. All right, so don't forget, these are actual pictures of the actual events occurring, showing the particles that Don Lincoln from Fermilab says exist almost 10 years ago. And yes, absolutely, I showed them almost 10 years ago, and I showed them accelerating, and I showed those same particles creating fission and fusion. That's fission when they came apart, that's fusion when we came back together. It's precisely what CERN and Fermilab want to see. And for them not to engage, and for Don Lincoln to tell me to get lost, is a disgrace. And the only one that can straighten this out is somebody who can stand up to these people. I haven't found one single person can stand up to them because they'll be fired, they'll be destroyed. And they did it to everybody. They would have done it to me if I'd have played their game. I went outside their game. Now they're going to have to play their game against me, and I will win. Don't forget, this is not a game to me. I want free energy for people. I want to save the freaking world. I don't care about somebody's status. Who cares about that? They're so good that they can ruin the world so that they can stay on top of Fermilab? It stinks. Okay, as you will see, I have had some difficulties with Fermilab and Don Lincoln in particular, who says I am unqualified, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm a tinfoil hat guy. Well, I want to show you some of my qualifications, because all he does is say he went to this school and that school, and he repeats what they told him to say, and has been literally a complete failure at Fermilab forever. They're starting to get closer to what I did 7 years ago because I told them what to do. That's right, Don. I told you guys what to do. And you shut down the Large Hadron Collider and made it focus just like we focus. And 3 years later, which is today, now you're starting to get the same kind of data we got. Well, what is my abilities? Well, first of all, Army General Classifications Test, which is a GT. I had a 139. Well, guess what? If you had a 136, somewhere around here it is, GT, if you scored 136 or higher prior to 1980, Mensa accepts the results as proof of being in the 98th percentile. A 136. I was a 139. When I got to Alaska, the company commander said, "I want to see this guy," and I thought, "Oh boy, I'm in trouble." He says, "No, no, no." I said, well, "Did I do something?" He said, "No." He said, "I never saw anybody that had that high of a GT," which is literally your IQ score. So, Don, what is your IQ score? Now, secondly, I went in the Army right after the Tet Offensive started, and I went in February 12th of '68. Tet Offensive started just a week or two earlier. It started on the January 31st. Now, here I am. I made E5, which is like a sergeant grade. It was a specialist grade, but that's because I worked on Nike Hercules missiles. But I made that in 7 months, from February to September already. Date of rank, September. So, and they hated me for that, because it was taking 10 to 15 years to get E5, E6, E7 up in that area. I was E5 in 7 months. They call them instant, that's non-commissioned officer. And they called us instant NCOs. They hated you for that. It's jealousy, and that's the same thing with Don Lincoln, because I am blowing him out of the water, and we should be driving our cars for free right now. What is his abilities? His abilities is to deny and dismiss everything that's brought in front of him. And I told him that I was going to come after him like this, and he said, "Do your best." And I said, "I will, and I am gonna." Now, these are my papers that go back to when I first got out of the Army, and I was going to go into physics. I knew the whole thing. I knew all about it by that point, as much as anybody, because at that point everything was pretty new in quantum. And I came up with the fact that the transfer of energy is from light, which is photons, which is dipoles, into an atomic vapor, and everything is made from that atomic vapor. Rutherford was wrong. Bohr's model was wrong. There's two types only, and it's dipole to dipole interactions. And I did all of the same things that I'm sure Don Lincoln probably did, although I did chemistry and thermodynamics and all that stuff too, light and chemicals. And so I have nothing to stand behind. I have nothing standing in front of me that I can't address. If he can stand in front of me and address the things that I'm showing, and that I actually can show, not that I can just show pictures of and talk about, oh, this might have happened, that might have happened. No. He doesn't even know what light is. He's come up with all of these things that I said, "Yes, Don, you're right." And he says, "No, I'm not right." All right, I'm going to cut this one short, but my next video is going to be about the wasted money in space. They have no idea what's in space. They think it's a vacuum. Not a vacuum. It's saturated with particles of light. Even Don Lincoln from Fermilab says it's a quantum foam. It's completely filled with particles. He's correct. And how could they possibly think there's nothing that you have to push through? It's loaded with particles. That means the Hubble Space Telescope is wrong. They don't understand the scrubbing of our atmosphere into the outer atmosphere, which is nothing but particles, as well as the particles glued to the Earth. That is a scrub zone, 2,700 degrees where it scrubs. On the surface, it's only 100 degrees or so. But growing fast, because the expansion is getting big and the scrub is getting scrubbier and harder. They don't understand. The same thing with the sun. The sun is millions and millions of degrees out here. Millions. On the surface, only 10,000. That's because it's scrubbing through the space, same as us. 2007, 700 out here, 100 on the surface. Totally misunderstood. There's no way that the space telescope can work. Hubble's totally worthless as far as deciding, it's nice to see the pictures and everything, but saying this is 100 light years away and that one's 50 light years away, no. I have no idea whatsoever. Because this could have all kinds of stuff in front of it, and it could be getting slowed real quick, and this could have nothing in front of it and it's coming fast. Space is not completely homogeneous. There's dense zones and there's sparse zones. And as we collide with the dense zones, we get more and more interaction, which means more and more heat. And that could be what's happening right now. But in addition, we are expanding our envelope of gases, which means more scrub. All right, here's the reason we're getting overheated. It's because we're scrubbing through space, whatever's in front of us. It might be dense, it might be sparse. Whatever it is, it impacts the sun and all of us, because we have to rip through it. It's push, and they're shoving back. Everything appears to spin. And as it spins, the arms get folded back because they're concussing with whatever's out here. So it's pushing them back. They're glowing. They separate zones, and this is called resonance separation because this pushes back and bounces, pushes, bounces, pushes, bounces, pushes, bounces, pushes, bounces, pushes, bounces, and that's how it goes all the way around. It's push to shove, push to shove, push to shove, with a dark line in between each. They call them interference patterns. They're not interference patterns. Those are repulsion patterns. Now, if we are coming into a dense region like here and we're going to come into here, we're in trouble. If we're in a region like here and we're coming into a region like that, we're in good shape. Simple as that. We have no idea what's in front of us because they don't even think there is anything in front of us. It's really unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And the only one who could possibly do anything about this is Trump. Somebody that stands up has got enough cayunes to stand up and say, you people are just either incompetent or frauds. There's no two ways about it.